It's payday Friday, and you're running the ritual. $215 to the credit card. Not the balance, just enough to feel responsible. $150 into the investing app, because future you deserve something. Whatever's left stays in checking, where it quietly disappears by the 29th. You're not lazy, and you're not reckless. You're doing the right things in an order that cancels most of them out. Marcus has run this exact ritual on the 1st and the 15th for 9 years, a $130,000 salary, decent habits, and a net worth that moves like a parked car. Tonight he finds out the problem was never the amounts. It was the sequence. Because here is the one-sentence version of this entire video. It's not how much money you move. It's the order you move it in. Your payroll department knows it. The credit card company is betting you never learn it. They designed the minimum payment the way casinos design exits. Technically there, never the point. There's a name for the right order. We call it the money waterfall. Your money fills one pool, overflows, and only then spills into the next. 8 pools, 8 steps, and the sequence is strict because every step earns more than the one below it. Run it backwards, watering pool 8 while pool 2 leaks. And the same dollars do a fraction of the work. We'll number every step out loud, and we'll get to the strangest one. Step 5, the most powerful pool on the entire board, and the one almost nobody fills. But the reason this video exists is step 2. Right now, about 1 in 5 American workers are leaving actual free money on the table there, every single payday, without ever feeling it. This leak doesn't drip, it pours. At Mr. Sense, we spend way too much time mapping where each dollar should land before the next one moves. So if you've ever paid the card, bought the stock, and still felt like you're running in place, subscribe. We break down one money trap every week. One warning before we start. The top of the waterfall is boring. That's the trick. The boring steps pay guaranteed returns. The exciting steps don't. Top to bottom. No skipping. Step 1. The starter buffer. $1,000 in cash. Somewhere you can reach it in a day. Not invested, not locked, just there. Here's the mechanism. 37% of American adults could not cover a $400 surprise with the cash they have. Ride that against your own life. One flat tire, one cracked tooth, one vet visit. And without a buffer, that surprise doesn't cost $400. It costs $400 plus 21% interest for as long as it rides a credit card. The buffer isn't an investment. It's the concrete the whole waterfall stands on. Skip it, and every step above gets rated the first bad week. And before you say you can't find $1,000, watch Marcus look for his. He brings home about $7,500 a month. Rent takes $1,895. So he's at $5,605. The car payment is $767, and the insurance on it is $220. Now $4,618. The health premium pulls $120. Food takes $847 between groceries and takeout. Utilities take $412. And Marcus is left with about $3,239 a month on paper. Out in reality, that $3,239 lands in checking with no name on it and evaporates. A repair here, a weekend there, a checkout page at 11:51 at night. Money with no address goes wherever it's asked for loudest. Step 1 is simply the act of giving the first $1,000 an address. Step 2, the employer match, the free money pool, and the leak this whole video is named for. If your job offers a 401k match, here's the most common formula. Your employer matches dollar for dollar on your first 3%, then 50 cents on the dollar on the next 2%. Translation, you put in 5% of your salary, and your employer hands you roughly another 4% on top. That is a guaranteed instant return on your contribution that no stock, no fund, and no savings account will ever promise you on day one. And nobody puts this in the welcome packet. The contribution rate printed on your enrollment form was never advice. It's a placeholder. David found that out the slow way. His company auto-enrolled him at a 3% default, while the full match required 5%, and he stayed parked at 3% for 4 years, assuming the form knew something he didn't. A famous study from 2001 found that's the norm. Roughly 75% of auto-enrolled workers stay at whatever default the form picked. The form isn't a recommendation. It's a test of whether you'll argue with it. Here's the bill for not arguing. In 2025, Fidelity looked across 24 million retirement accounts and found about 1 in 5 workers don't contribute enough to capture their full match. 1 in 5. Walking past free money every payday. That's not a typo. The last time anyone priced the leak, back in 2015, so add 11 years of inflation to this, it averaged $1,336 per person per year. And $1,336 a year isn't $1,336. Invested at 7% after inflation, that one missed match grows to roughly $135,000 over a 30-year career. Let that land. A six-figure retirement gap created by a form nobody reopened. And here comes the pushback, and it's a fair one. I can't afford to lock money away in a retirement account. I need that cash available in case something happens. Let's give that argument its strongest form because it has real teeth. Pull money out of a 401k early, and you'll owe income tax plus a 10% penalty. A chunk of every withdrawn dollar gone. Hardship withdrawals can't be paid back. The compounding is gone forever, and people are doing it. 2025 set a record with 6% of workers taking a hardship withdrawal, up from roughly 5% the year before, and about triple the pre-pandemic norm. Roughly 1 in 5 participants at one major provider is carrying a 401k loan right now. The fear of locked up money isn't paranoia. It's in the data. So here's what's true. If you have no buffer and your job feels shaky, if eviction or foreclosure is on the table, or if your match vests on a cliff you won't stay long enough to reach, liquidity wins. Handle the emergency. Nobody compounds their way out of a notice on the door, but for everyone else, the lock is softer than advertised. Roth IRA contributions, a pool coming up at step 6, can be withdrawn anytime, no tax, no penalty. A newer federal rule even allows a $1,000 emergency withdrawal from retirement accounts, penalty-free once every 3 years. And that is the whole reason Step 1 exists. The buffer is what makes the match safe to grab. So the decision rule is this: no buffer and unstable income. Finish Step 1 first. Buffer banked and a steady job? Take the match. Skipping it isn't caution. It's a pay cut you volunteered for. Step 3, high interest debt. Every dollar after the match attacks the cards. The average credit card is charging about 21% right now. 45% of cardholders carry a balance month to month, and the average balance sits at $6,715. The bank manager files 21% under standard terms, the same way a tow company files your car under inventory. On the waterfall, a 21% debt isn't a pool. It's a siphon, a hose drilled into the side of the structure, draining every pool below it before they can fill. Sarah carries that average balance. At 21%, her $6,715 quietly bills her about $1,400 a year in interest. Money that buys her nothing, fixes nothing, builds nothing. A nurse handing over a full week's work every year just to rent her own past. Paying that card off is a guaranteed 21% return. Tax-free, risk-free, no market required. Nothing at step 4 or below comes close. One honest note on method. The math says attack the highest rate first. A study of about 6,000 real borrowers found that people who knock out small balances first are the ones who actually finish. Pick whichever version you'll finish. The waterfall only cares that the siphon gets pulled. And why does this come after the match instead of before? Because the match pays more, roughly 4% of your salary, instantly, versus 21% on a balance. Grab the free money, then point everything else at the siphon. Step 4, the full emergency fund. The pool with a lid. Once the cards are dead, the $1,000 buffer grows up, 3 to 6 months of your essential costs. For a budget like Marcus's, that's somewhere between $13,000 and $26,000. I mean, yes, that sounds enormous. So build it the way the waterfall builds everything, overflow by overflow. But where you park it matters almost as much as having it. The national average savings account pays 0.38%. The top high-yield savings accounts are paying around 4%, roughly 10 times more with the same federal insurance for one afternoon of paperwork. The bank manager would love your emergency fund to stay in the 0.38% account. He calls that one convenient. It is one for him. Same lid, better pool. This money's job isn't growth. Its job is making sure you never have to crack open steps 5 through 8 on the worst day of your year. Step 5, the HSA, the pool almost nobody fills. If you're on a high deductible health plan, you can put $4,400 a year into a health savings account, $8,750 for a family. And this is flatly the most tax-favored account that exists in America. The money goes in untaxed. It grows untaxed. It comes out untaxed for medical costs. 3 tax breaks on one account. It reads like a page of the tax code with a typo nobody's had the heart to fix. Every other retirement account makes you choose. Pay tax now or pay tax later. The HSA's answer is neither, and your body will at some point generate the medical bills to spend it on. Yet only about 15% of account holders ever invest the money inside it. Everyone else leaves it parked as cash. The strongest pool on the board, and almost nobody turns the tap. We promised you step 5 was the strange one. Step 6, the IRA. After the HSA open an IRA, you can put in up to $7,500 for 2026, invested however you choose on your terms. And if you go Roth, taxed now, never again. Here's the part that should sound familiar. Every dollar you contribute can come back out whenever you want. No tax, no penalty. Remember the lock that scared you back at step 2? This pool barely has one. The deeper you get down the waterfall, the more flexible the water becomes. Step 7. Back to the 401k. And now you max it. The 2026 ceiling is $24,500 a year. If you've made it this far down, the boring machine is fully on. Every paycheck auto-routes into decades of compounding before you can spend it. And if $24,500 sounds like another planet, quick reality check. Among people who have retirement accounts at one major provider, the median balance is about $35,286. Across all working-age Americans, including everyone with no account at all, the median is closer to $1,000. Step 7 is not where most of the country lives, and the waterfall doesn't demand you reach it. It demands you don't skip what's above it. Marcus won't fill this pool this year, doesn't matter. Every dollar he pours now lands where it works hardest. That's the whole win. Step 8, the taxable brokerage, the open water. No limits, no lock, no special rules, just an ordinary investing account. The one your Friday Ritual app has been all along. Over the last 100 years, the market has averaged about 10% a year. Call it 7% after inflation. Real money, powerful money, and never guaranteed, which is exactly why it's last. The waterfall's whole logic in one line. Free money first, guaranteed return second, tax-sheltered growth third, and only then the open market. Once nothing underneath it can crack. That $150 you sent the app on payday? There was nothing wrong with it. It was step 8 water doing step 1's job. The right move standing in the wrong spot, which is the politest way money ever fails. Now read the 8 steps back as one idea. A buffer so surprises can't touch you. Free money before your money. Kill the guaranteed losses. Build the wall. Then the tax-favored pools, health, IRA, the maxed 401k, and finally the open water. Every step earns more than the one after it, which is why this order isn't a preference and isn't a personality type. The order is the strategy. The amounts were never your problem. The sequence was. The same dollars restacked can be worth 6 figures more across a career, and most of that difference is money somebody was already holding out to you. So next payday Friday, the ritual changes shape. Same deposit, same 5 minutes. But the first dollars go looking for the lowest unfilled pool instead of the loudest bill. Don't rebuild all 8 this weekend. Find the step where your money lands today and move it one step up. 1. The waterfall does the rest. Overflow by overflow. Because 1 in 5 workers will leave the free money sitting there again this payday. And you've just stopped being one of them. Step 1 has its own full episode. The $1,000 floor and why it changes everything after it. That's where this story continues. That's the trap. Now you see it. Subscribe so you see the next one coming. Marcus is going to run the ritual for another 9 years either way. So are you. Same paycheck, same effort, different order. The water finally runs downhill.